Coming to you from the Black Swan Media Studios, this is Fireside Chats, talking to the real difference makers in the world. Now, here is your host, John Crump.
Hi, everyone. This is John, back with you guys once again. Tonight, I'm joined by a new guest I have never had on the show before, and I'm excited about that. But before we get into that, you can always help support the program by patreon.com/John Crump, or you can do a one-time donation, and it is my birthday, by the way, at
Happy
PayPal.
birthday.
Well, it was yesterday. Close enough, right? PayPal.me/JohnCC. And a really cool thing is I got a pretty good birthday present. Hey, Sheila out there. Today, HB 961, also known as the Assault Firearms Ban bill, was kicked to the curb. I see Chris Shoemake out there and Weston out there as well, and they kicked that bill right to the curb for at least a year. Well, maybe a year. There is a chance that the governor can bring it back by the end of the session, which is in 2 weeks. I don't think he will. It doesn't look like he will. I don't think they have the votes. And the best part about it was Levine's face. Mark Levine, the guy who introduced it, his face was just biting his lip. When they rejected it, they tried to save it. They tried to push it back a day, whatnot, but it didn't work. But before we get into all that stuff, let me introduce you to my guest. His name is Flyin Rich. And first thing I want to know, why is it Flyin Rich?
Well, I'm actually an instrument-rated pilot, a 1,000-hour pilot, and unfortunately, I am planeless at this point. There's a little bit more to the story. I've had 2 accidents in planes, and the last one's repairable. And so I'm in the financial process of repairing my last plane.
So what you're saying is not to fly with you.
But wait a second. No, I'm saying fly with me, because you don't meet too many people that walked away from 2 plane crashes. In the first crash, they used 2 houses to stop the plane. So I think I'm a good representative of survivability. You want to fly with a pilot that's never survived a crash, let alone 2?
Well, I thank you, Wes, for the happy birthday, and thank you, Sheila and Chris Shoemake. But yeah, I actually want to fly with a pilot that's never been in a crash.
Yeah, and you know what? With all the events coming up, I'm like, I need a plane. I need a freaking plane, because we got NRAM, and then we got, what is it called? Not Freedom Fest. It's
The Gunathon?
Gunathon.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing my this way.
GOA shirt. Yeah, man. You got to remember, it's mirrored image on. But,
yeah, I got to get used to that.
Yeah, your GOA shirt, Gun Owners of America. I was told today that Gun Owners of America did nothing in Virginia, and VCDL did very little in Virginia.
VCDL did very little?
Yeah, it was a person out of Washington State who came out. I don't think they ever came out. They just spoke about Virginia on the internet, so they weren't getting enough credit themselves.
Because, I thought VCDL was the crack.
Oh, the VCDL did massive amounts of work.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just somebody claimed that VCDL didn't do anything.
Okay. I think a 3-letter organization did nothing.
Yeah. Well, they named them too, but I didn't defend them. I was like, you're saying VCDL and GOA didn't do anything. They came in at the very last stage of the game to claim credit. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, no. I'm a big fan of VCDL and GOA, by the way.
I was like, lobby day. Come on.
Well, so here's the thing. So I kind of think it's a mixed bag of dog crap, because one, this wasn't really struck down. They're delaying it a year. And they did sneak in other legislation. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to think. There's like 5 stories on how to tell this. It's kind of like saying, "I'm gonna chop off your arm," but you agree to just have your hand chopped off because
Oh,
now
we're
that seems reasonable.
we're not going to let them chop off our arm either. We have plans to fight everything in court that does get passed. Right now, it's going to the Senate, which think that we don't think that all of it's going to make it past the Senate. What I'm envisioning is the red flag law, which is bad, but it's not as bad as yours. I mean,
Right?
Virginia, it was modified to get it through, and it didn't make it through all the way. So we still have a chance to defeat that. And our red flag law, if it passes in the Senate, will, which is where it's going to be tough to pass. 2 separate police officers have to swear an affidavit that they think that you need your guns taken away. It can't be a family member or anything else like that. And then a magistrate has to agree that there's no other recourse, which is a little bit better than Florida. It still sucks,
Uh,
but
so I'm from the Gunshine State, and I read an AP story. I think it was yesterday. So it's the 2-year anniversary of the Marjorie Stoneman shooting, and the AP story said there were 35,000 red flag incidents in the 2 years of the law.
oh yeah,
Which, if you evenly distribute that, that's 50 a day. Which, so
scary.
the thing that I thought was unusual about, I hate current print or web media now because the who, what, where, when, why, and how are never talked about. So the thing that they didn't talk about, the gorilla in the room, is they didn't say, hey, and this stopped X number of shootings. There's this old story. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, that keeps tigers away. And somebody says, there's no tigers in Orlando, Florida. See, it works. How do you know what the success of this red flag law is if you've taken 35,000 people's guns away? And I know of one incident. It's somebody I know. I don't want to say like a friend, but somebody I know. His nephew got his guns taken away because he was a CCW with the same name as somebody that was living with 2 ladies, and they reported the guy.
Yeah,
so they just went down.
Yeah, I read a story about him. I worked with Florida Carry and GOA and a bunch of other places to get his guns back.
Did he get them back?
Yeah. Yeah, we got it. We got it rectified really quickly.
Were they rusty, sawed in half? I mean,
well, we got it before we got like an injunction and got everything taken care of before they even got the guns in their hands. And then I was able to contact some TV crews and everything else. But normal people who, like, you actually brought that to Hank, that Hank brought it to me.
Oh, okay.
But normal people don't have that recourse.
No, I mean, you're screwed. And here's the whole thing. The process is the penalty. Like, somebody, and even me on a bad month, like 6 months ago, I was financially screwed. If they took my guns, it's like, you got to keep them. I can't afford the lawyers to get them back.
Yeah.
So the process is the penalty.
Yeah.
Because how much, when they finally realized this wasn't the right guy, and you know what? That's the other thing the story didn't say. How many wrong people did they get in these 35,000 red flag incidents?
I guarantee you that a lot of them. I guarantee you a lot of them, and that's one of the scary things about red flag laws.
It's just so infuriating to me. And so what I say often is my daughter goes to a school for the performing arts, and they celebrate anybody with an alternate lifestyle. But God forbid, you posted a picture that you went to the range with your dad. That's it. They'd kick you out of the school.
And that has happened on multiple occasions.
And this is a Second Amendment right. This is I shouldn't say Second Amendment right. It's a right guaranteed to us by our Creator. The Second Amendment is not a right. It's telling the government to keep your hands off my damn stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people refer to the Bill of Rights as the Bill of Negative Liberties. Not that it gives liberties to the people, but it's negative liberties to the government.
The federal government, yeah. Yeah, and that's what drives me crazy. Do you know Chris Ann Hall?
No.
Okay, she spoke at our Tea Party. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and she's big constitutional scholar, and just she does a YouTube stream also, and they always her and her husband try to drill down the point that, hey, these are rights guaranteed to you by your Creator. They're not given to you by the government, by the state of Florida. They're your right, and they're not supposed to be taken away. And that's the thing that drives me crazy is we need to exercise these rights, and we need to make sure, and that's what I thought was great about Virginia. One, it was peaceful. Two, they left it cleaner than like Earth Day celebrations. It shows the government, hey, we're out there, and we are very good and decent people, and we're not maniacs. And I was really excited about that.
Yeah. Talking about the whole lobby day, and also Kermit Love Bacon, who just popped into the channel. I see my niece out there saying happy birthday to me. Thank you. My trip was great, John Voorhees, but Kermit Love Bacon, I think it was him. Yeah, it was. Sent me an article today. And I just had to laugh. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. And this is crazy. This is what we're fighting, people. Check that out. Oh, hold on. You can't see it, can you?
Yeah, it's just coming up slow.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just scroll down a little bit.
White supremacists said it would spark a civil war. Wow.
Yeah, it talks about Lobby Day. It was like some white supremacist rally.
Hey, so I got a question for you. And you can lie. There's no reason I can make you tell the truth. But how many white supremacists do you know?
I don't really know any. And this is my boy Devin and I at Lobby Day.
And you know what a hater would say? A hater would say, oh, of course, every white guy has to have at least one black friend.
Yeah, but if you were there were tons. I mean, it was,
yeah.
It was probably the percentage of minorities was probably higher than the percentage of minorities here in Virginia at Lobby Day, to be honest with you.
Because gun laws are racist.
Gun laws are definitely racist. It was from the Independent. It's Associated Press. That's where the article came from. It's definitely racist. In fact, later on this week, or maybe next week, we don't have an exact date yet, but I'm having the president of Black Lives Matter for Virginia, who was actually at the rally. And people contacted him after it and saying, well, can we get commented about this rally in Richmond, and he was like, I was there. He was like, there wasn't any. He's like, I didn't see a Confederate flag at all. He has them with all the Confederate flags. He's like, there wasn't any. And he told me, and he was like, man, he's like, I really want to come on your show just to tell people how they try to spin it and try to say, weren't you afraid? And then he's like, I wasn't afraid. We weren't afraid. Like, there was a bunch of us there, and none of us felt afraid. People were nice, and kind.
Oh
And
yeah. I was at the West Palm Beach Gun Show this weekend, and you want to see a grisly bunch of characters. I mean, you're talking people in suits and people in dirty T-shirts, all the way across the spectrum. I mean, it's like the bar scene in Star Wars, and you bump into any one of them, they're like, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry." Nobody's drawn down on anyone. What it is, what I think the big problem is the liberal echo chamber. Is that they think whatever they believe is how it is and what their friends say back to them. That if you've ever seen somebody that owned a gun, you're a gun nut and you got to be disinfected. Whereas they haven't walked up and down the aisles at a gun show. They haven't met these people. Look, there's some odd looking people. There's odd looking people in any group. But everybody was super nice. They're always super nice. And I've been to that gun show a lot of times. So one of the things that I want to do, I'm challenging myself to take one person a month that has never shot before to the range and expose them. So it's not some crazy far out thing that they want to go to the range and they can talk to their friends and tell them. I believe it's an infectious disease that once you get somebody out there, if I could take 12 people to the range this year, they might take other people to the range with them in the future. And that it's a more normalized thing. Like on YouTube, we're on YouTube right now, normal people can't show you a firearm anymore. They're making us more abnormal. We're the guys you can't talk about, which is kind of distressing. I can't talk. Distressing to me.
yeah,
You can talk about anything you want.
John Voorhees brings up something interesting. Did you see the fight at the Sanders rally?
Was that when the woman got on stage?
Oh,
or
no.
Was that something else?
They attacked the guy that was wearing a Black Guns Matter shirt.
Oh, no, I missed that.
Yeah. I forgot to contact Madge about that. Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah, GOA's doing a lot with Black Guns Matter.
That's cool. That's where I think it all needs to be. Because what people don't understand is when the slaves were freed from the South, they started enforcing laws that prohibited blacks from owning guns, and those were the first gun laws of the country. And by definition, therefore, all gun laws are racist because the freed slaves could now protect and defend themselves against lynch mobs. And it's just crazy. It really, when you look at the numbers and the statistics, who's the guy? Is it John Lott that writes all the books? More Guns, Less Crime?
Yeah. I've done work with John Lott before on some of the stuff. Yeah.
The statistics, if carry permits are going up, gun ownership is going up, and crime is going down. And, nothing they've done in any of these cities like Baltimore or Chicago or Detroit has stopped gun violence or even, made it less.
They don't. Kermit Loves Bacon. I sent him it over. I talked to him right before I talked to you. I haven't talked to him again, but I will talk to him about the syntax. What Kermit Loves Bacon is talking about is they put it like 35% syntax on ammo in Connecticut.
Wow. Well, I was a refugee from New York, and they started that, what they call it, the SAFE Act. I love these names. In fact, I think there should be a law that no bill can have a name. It could be HB 270. It can't be, to make puppies safe or whatever. Because if there was a law that said make puppies safe, there'd be a meat grinder involved in it. Yeah. So anyhow, when I was living in New York, they passed the SAFE Act. I had ammo shipped to my dad's place, and I picked it up. He lives in Pennsylvania. Because I'm not going to register in New York, get a permit to buy ammo. I'm like, you're out of your freaking mind. I could have had the ammo shipped. I bought it online. I could have had it shipped to my house. But I'm like, screw that. I don't want them, having detailed logs on how much ammo I have.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Because
They've been trying to go after the guns. It hasn't been working, so
right.
now going after the ammo.
But this is going back to colonial times. This is exactly the same tactics that they were trying during the colonial times to ban guns, to ban the ammo, to ban the gunpowder, to put taxes on these things. This has all been done before, and
Yeah,
it's
how'd that turn out? For the
we all know how that turned out.
that's why we don't use like you and when we spell honor and we spell center a little bit differently. We don't use the communist metric system.
Right. I, I I don't. In one of these posts, I don't know if this is authentic or not, but I saw it on Instagram, and it was gosh, Rand Paul. I had his face in my mind. Where it said the gun laws aren't there to protect you from getting harmed, and it kept saying, this is not there to protect you from fill in the blank. It's to protect the elites from you. I was like, holy crap.
That is true. Rand Paul said some really interesting things that I agree with. One of the things that he did say with because he's for decriminalizing marijuana, and someone asked him, well, if you decriminalize marijuana, what are you gonna do with the spikes and all the marijuana crimes and stuff like that? And he said, if we legalized heroin tomorrow, are you gonna go out and smoke heroin or shoot up heroin? And the lady's like, no.
So, where is it? I think it's Portugal where they legalized all drugs. Am I correct on that? It's one of those.
Yeah,
It's like Portugal or Spain. I think it was Portugal. They legalized all drugs, and then they got everybody help that was addicted.
Yeah, so it wasn't. They didn't legal. Okay,
or decriminalized.
They decriminalized. It's a little bit of different. It's still not legal, but you don't face like jail time.
Right.
And I think that is one of the things that we have to look into with drugs.
Because it's kind of like the Department of Education. Since the inception of Department of Education, our education in this country has gotten worse, and since the war on drugs, or drugs have gotten worse, I should say, in the country. None of these things have been fixing it, and just as much as I'm not a fan of Colorado or California, I like the idea that the 50 states or 50 experiments in democracy. And let's see what happens when they make stuff legal. How does it change? Is it possible that it's any better?
Well, I think with like marijuana and stuff like that, that's gonna do a lot of damage to the cartels.
Sure, and I'm all for that.
Which might do something. I know Virginia, they're gonna legalize it. Nevada, were you out there for a shot?
No, I'm going to do it next year. I was going to go this year, but it just, my daughter's a senior, and I've been doing a lot of college visits with her.
Yeah, well, I went out there for Red October, and it's decriminalized in Nevada, and in fact, they have dispensaries like these little like pop-up booths on the strip.
You show them your prescription.
No, I don't. It's not that. It's I don't think you have to have a prescription. Just like it's like Colorado, you can just go in there and buy it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was interesting. It was like, what is that smell? I didn't realize that they had that law. But Virginia is going to pass it. DC, which is 20 minutes away from me, already legalized it, and now they're going to legalize psychedelics.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand the game plan on that.
There's a couple different reasons why. psychedelics are illegal for all uses, but they have tremendous benefits for certain types of things. Like I get something called cluster headaches, which are also called suicide headaches. The most painful.
Oh, jeez.
They're the most painful pain known to man. The medical science, the most painful thing in medical science, more painful than gout or anything else like that.
Huh.
One of the treatments that works, but it's not legal, and I haven't tried it because it's not legal, is magic mushrooms, psilocybin. And it's not like all the time. It's basically one dose every 6 months. And it has like a 90% effect rate.
Wow, so that's crazy.
For stuff like that, that's why they're going to do it.
Sure, that sounds great. Yeah, and that's, I'm all for Trump did the right to try, which I think was a great thing. But can we roll back to like originally what we're talking about in Virginia? Because I had a couple of points and I want to bounce them off you.
Sure.
So basically, they did a 1-year delay on this law. And some people have said that the tactic is, hey, they realize November's coming and they're going to get voted out of office. So if they don't vote this in, there's a better chance they're going to get reelected. Do you think that's a possible?
No, I think that's not possible whatsoever because none of them are up for election in November.
There's no Virginia state elections? Oh, okay.
No.
So why the 1-year delay then? They think they're going to sneak it in a year. We're all going to forget.
Well, they didn't have the votes. From what I'm being told, on Sunday night, they were trying anything to get it passed. And they, like, for example, one thing that I heard that they did try was grandfathering everything. Whatever you have is grandfathered. Check anything.
So the creep. They're going to slowly creep the legislation in.
So if you have it, and Creeds and some others took a stand and said, no, we're not voting for this no matter what.
Wow.
So to reintroduce it next year, if they would have voted it down, it would have had to go through the whole cycle again. And
so it's kind of a zombie bill right now.
Yeah. So they can delay it for a year and hopefully get some support and wait for everything to die down. Maybe people won't pay attention to it as much as they are right now.
Yeah, good luck.
So I don't think happen. The governor
see, like,
can at any time, though.
I see about 3 things on this. So it's 1, lobby day, the people that came out and showed up. 2, it's all of the sanctuary counties. And 3, it's West Virginia saying, hey, we're open for business. Come be with us.
Yeah, I think the sanctuary counties had a lot to do with it. I think a lobby day had a lot to do with it. And
yes,
there's a lot of Democrats who are in these sanctuary counties, and they know that they're not going to. It basically, if they pass it, that they're not getting reelected.
Right. Well, who thinks they're getting reelected now?
Well, some of them bought some. Some of them bought some goodwill, like Creeds, for example, who isn't exactly my most favorite Democrat, but he's taking a hard stance on all the gun bills, saying I'm not voting for him.
I think about Spaceman Rick Nelson. He's like, I'm a gun guy. I'm a hunter. And it's like, he couldn't tell you what end of the gun to point at a deer. In Florida, everything is Republican. We got a Republican governor, Republican attorney general. We got a Republican majority in the state government. and they're still passing gun laws. They're still passing, they're not reversing them. They're not like, hey, we're here to save the day. We are not rhinos. Those bad red flag laws, they're going away. No, they haven't done crap.
Yeah, well, if you look at who's donating to them, you can see it's the same people that donate to Democrats here. Creed Deeds, I keep on bringing him up, even though I don't like him. I do believe that he does believe in what he states because he's one of the few Democrats who didn't take any money from them.
Wow. Okay.
So there are a couple. It's still not enough, but for the assault weapons ban, that was a bridge too far for a lot of them to cross. So I don't think that they wanted to really cross that bridge.
It just seems to me that one, I think Lobby Day, all of the counties really put the pressure on them. Because if it wasn't for Lobby Day in all of the counties, they would have done it. They would have gone through with it.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
It wasn't they like, oh wait, no, that's too far. We have our limits here. No,
yeah, it would have passed by a single vote. Because there's two Democrats. Can't remember the other guy's name, but he's also on record of stating that he will not vote to ban anything whatsoever. All right, okay. Kermit. We will see you later. Yeah. So so it would have passed by one vote, I believe. Right now, they had 4 Democrats on the Judiciary Committee alone vote against it, and there was 6 others that were planning on, if it made it to the Senate, either not voting on it or abstaining from a vote. I mean, not voting on it, which is abstaining for a vote, or voting against it. And no matter what form it was in. So I think that had a lot to do with it. There's a couple other gun bills that have been watered down tremendously. But it's going to be a hard fight, and it's not a complete victory, and it's not winning the war, it's winning a battle.
Right. And like I said, just in pre-show, I'm still full of piss and vinegar. I feel it's like Lucy in the football all the time. My Congress critter, Brian Mast, promised me he was a gun guy. Now he's ready to take away all the semi-automatics. I just think they're pond scum, all of them. You can't count on them.
One good thing about Virginia is Bloomberg has made his name so toxic that if you're a Republican and you take money from Bloomberg, you're done.
Is it every town that's his organization?
He donates through a couple different front organizations every town. For one, another thing every town does, they will give money to Moms Demand Action. The Moms Demand Action will put on another huge thing. And then he has a PAC that he gives them money from. Then he makes private donations as well.
So they're just washing the money.
Basically, yeah.
But now here's the thing that I'm always finding fantastic. Do you have money for armed security guards? I know you're married, you have kids. You have an armed security guard. When you leave the house, they protect your family.
Of course I do. Doesn't everyone?
Well, and the point that I'm making is Bloomberg, he's got armed security. If these people are so serious about this crap, give up your armed security. Practice what you preach. If guns are bad, they're bad for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, Bloomberg also said that any gun that holds more than 3 rounds is a problem.
What was the story where this woman was up in the attic with her kids and she put 6 rounds into a guy and he kept coming at her?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, first off, look, we've already covered it. Probably the most panicked situation I've ever been in my life is, one of the 2 plane crashes I've had. Now, the question is, with that same adrenaline pump, how accurate are you? How well are you going to operate that machine? Are you going to be able to clear malfunction? You know, are you going to pick it up and the mag drops out? What the heck? But if you have the ammo, you can clear the malfunction. If one of the 3 rounds that you're allowed to have just got ejected because, you know, a failure to feed, you know, you're down to 2. Well, I guess one of my favorite videos is I think it was Arizona. The guy had cameras around his house, and you see like 3 or 4 armed thugs come into the house, and then you see him running out, and you see the shots going through the windshield of the car as it's backing out of the driveway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy didn't have 3 rounds. He had more.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that Levine said, the guy who introduced HB 961, it was his bill. One of the
Not
things,
Levin.
not Levin, not Mark Levin, Mark Levine. Mark Levin is actually one of my neighbors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
He's not quite my neighbor either when he's in the South. He's close by.
yeah, yeah. He's actually from here. He owns like houses like everywhere, I think.
I only know the one in Virginia and the one in Jupiter.
Okay, well, yeah, he has one in Virginia. He was actually from my town.
Cool.
But yeah, here's the thing. Mark Levine said that they went with a 12 round. They went with a 12 round round count because most handguns are under that. Specifically, the Sig Sauer only holds 12.
So my CCW, all right, I carry an LCP2 and an LC9S. So it's 6+1 and 7+1. But all my full frame, other than my 45, I mean, I'm carrying like 19.
Yeah, I carry a Glock. My concealed carry is a Glock 19. Carries 15 rounds. But like, he was like, the Sig Sauer only carries 12 rounds. And they got one of the guys up there was like, "Are you talking about the P229, the P226? What Sig Sauer are you talking about?" He's like, "The ones that the police use."
So he has no idea.
He has no idea. The guy was like, "Are you talking about the P229, the P226? Do you know how many round counts each one of those I carry?"
So this guy, Mark Levine, was the one that was telling you because it has a pistol grip, it's more accurate. And that's why pistol grips are bad.
Yeah.
So all of us hunters that have, you know, a wood stock without a pistol grip use those bolt action rifles because they're inaccurate.
Yes. Exactly.
Now, you've been active in this much longer than I have. It seems like the level of education, except for Mark Levine, has actually come up. They're able to describe the firearm a little better. At least that's what.
On the anti-gun side?
Yeah, on the anti-gun side.
Yes and no.
Unless it's Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah. Yeah. It weighs 50 pounds. If you let them talk, like, "Oh, what if it banned?" They will describe, "Oh, this is what it bans." But the second you say, "Well, how does that work? How does it make it more accurate?" Then they're like, it just does.
Magic.
So they memorize what the parts' names are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't really have any clue as to what the parts actually do.
Right.
So I think the whole barrel shroud thing with Tucker Carlson, with the senator, when Feinstein introduced the bill with the banned barrel shrouds, and he's like, "I don't know if you've ever saw that."
No, I heard. I didn't actually see it, but I've heard of it.
And she had no idea what a barrel shroud was. That's basically the level that they're at.
But why would you want? What makes a barrel shroud particularly deadly or offensive?
Well, it doesn't. Uh, you got to remember, they don't write these bills themselves. They get it from lobbyists, like the Brady organization or Everytown, mostly from the Brady organization. But and these lobbyists give them the bills like pre-written, and then they
Right.
file it as their name. That's just how politics works.
But why would any of them want the barrel shroud restricted?
It's just one other thing that they can list that would make
So it's a
current.
gotcha kind of thing.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I'm
like
like, all right, my PS90 has a barrel shroud. Would that make my PS90 illegal?
it depends on some of the bills. So yeah, so it's like they throw everything in there that they can to make it almost impossible. So they can say, like, we're not banning the guns, we're just banning certain features.
Well, and the thing that drives me crazy is statistically, less than 400. Let's see, less than 400 homicides. Let's even say that a year are done with long guns as opposed to handguns.
Yeah, it was
In
like
some
386 last year, 8
yeah,
in Virginia.
and some fraction of those might be AR-15s or AK-47s, those evil assault weapons. But what's the stats on people dying of the flu? It's I think
Oh,
it's like
800 people accidentally got wrapped up in their bed sheets and strangled themselves to death last year.
so you're saying twice as many that have been shot by all long guns.
Yes, over twice. With 800.
So the other thing about gun control that always worries me is fine, we get rid of these evil AKs and ARs, these black rifles. Then they're going to realize that the 30,000 gun deaths a year are caused by handguns, and they got to get rid of them also.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone. It's a low hanging fruit.
And I think what it is the lesser educated people are like, why? And let me not say that. Let me just say, I was not an AR fan. I was several years into guns, and I owned bunches of different things. I even had a PS90 before I had an AR. And once I started owning ARs, I'm like, this is so cool. I can swap this out. I can add to this. I can buy a better bolt carrier in the future if I want. And, I don't have to go with the lowest end bolt carrier. I can get a nickel boron one. The pick rails, everything's just swappable. I can fit it on there. I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. It's lightweight. I got one that's all polymer. So now I'm full blown on the AR bandwagon. What I've done consulting all over the country, and I'm in Michigan, and people like, hunters, guys that go hunting every weekend, they're like, yeah, I don't know why you need an AR-15. I'm like, do you know why you need a bolt action gun? Because that's a sniper rifle. If the AR-15 is deadly, your sniper rifle's going to be next.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. It's not about the bump stocks. It's not about such and such and such. It's always about that slippery slope.
Right. And as gun guys, we all knew bump stocks are crap. They barely work. It's just, but not that I've ever wanted one. I'm guessing you probably never wanted one either. But it's another encroachment upon our rights.
Yeah, exactly. They are definitely a gimmick. I know they want to go after like arm braces.
Which, how many times has the ATF said it's good? It's like 2 or 3 times they've had opinions.
Yeah. I know they want to go after binary triggers.
Yeah, the binaries are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, holy cow. You can fire a binary pretty much quicker than, what is it? Let's see. A Sten gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they want to go after them. It's a moving target. They're moving the goalpost is exactly what they do.
They're continually doing it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, we got this now. Let's go ahead and get this.
See, what I think we need to turn the tables on them. Like they say, oh, you have to, if you're a CCW, you have to have a permit and insurance and blah, blah, blah. And, they're trying to throw more and more restrictions on us. I think we should turn the tables. I think if you're going to have a gun-free zone, where in the last 50 years, all but 3 mass shootings have happened in a gun-free zone, you should have metal detectors at every entrance and exit and 2 armed guards for every entrance.
Yeah, that's one of the bills I got knocked down in Virginia. We tried to introduce that on the good side.
Yeah, make them secure these gun-free zones, because that's where people are getting killed. People aren't getting killed in my house, not getting killed in your house.
No.
They're getting killed in the gun-free zones.
Yeah, I doubt anyone's going to try to put it this way. If someone tries to break in my house, that would be probably a really bad mistake.
Look, my wife's a CCW. She's is the guy's name Rick Roth? He's a legislator in Florida here. My wife gave him an earful for 45 minutes after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas law they enacted. And he's like trying to spin, and she wasn't taking it. These guys, they're all crap. They're all pieces of crap.
Yeah, in Florida, man, you guys have it bad though. I guess who do you vote for in Florida? I mean,
it doesn't matter. Why would it matter? Because nobody's there protecting us.
Yeah.
And I'm very highly disappointed. I don't know if you've met Brian Mast or talked to him. Very nice guy, personable guy, but he's a traitor.
Yeah, what I think you guys need to do is start making it public who's taking money from Bloomberg and stuff like that. 'Cause I know right now in Virginia, at least, if a Republican is taking money from a Bloomberg group, that's their kiss of death.
Wow.
People, Bloomberg Virginia was staunchly anti-Trump in the polls until Bloomberg bought the legislature. Ever since then, Trump has been up in the polls in Virginia.
Wow.
And Bloomberg is tremendously unpopular.
Well, Bloomberg has all the appeal of, something stuck on the bottom of your shoe. He's not energetic. He's not dynamic. Hey, you and I would know. It's like, I'm Mike Bloomberg. Vote for me. We wouldn't be like, and I'm Mike Bloomberg. I paid for this ad. Vote for me. I mean, you'd have a little bit of enthusiasm about it. I think Bloomberg's. I initially feared Bloomberg entering the race. I have no fear of that now. This guy, he's got enough dirt on him, like SJW type of dirt, that he's never going to make it.
Oh, like throw him up against the wall and frisk him.
That's crazy.
Then he said that the latest thing, Latin Americans and black people don't work hard enough or something like that. That just came up today. And then he said, well, he's all for socialized medicine, but if you're 95 and you're coming with cancer, we should just tell you, sorry, there's no cure for you. Have a good day and you'll go your way.
Have a bottle of tequila. Enjoy your day.
They had a good life. What are you doing?
All right, Bloomberg has. Have you heard the Mike Douglas commercial for Bloomberg?
No.
It's like he says Bloomberg worked his way through school. Do you know what school Bloomberg went to?
What school?
Johns Hopkins and then Harvard. Bloomberg lost his job. Started a family. Lost his job at 39. Do you know where he lost his job? They said he was fired. Do you know where he was fired from?
Where?
Lehman Brothers. Do you know what what he got when he left Lehman Brothers?
Oh yeah, huge golden parachute.
$10 million. He was head of IT at Lehman Brothers. He invented a computer. He sold it. He built more. Sold more. $10 million. if you can't make that into 20, 30, 40 million dollars, you're a screw up.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Then he insulted factory workers and
Oh, Jesus. All right, so here's the other thing. And John, I'm assuming you grew up in the Virginia area, so like 100 miles from the coast, within
Yeah.
100 miles of the coast.
Yeah.
I grew up on the South Shore of Long Island. People
where?
in Manhattan, Islip.
My wife is from Ronkonkoma.
Okay.
Yeah,
Too funny.
We go to Ronkonkoma once a month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're flying into Islip MacArthur Airport, where I did all my primary flight training.
Oh, really? Yeah,
yeah.
My father-in-law got his pilot's license from there.
Oh, I probably know him. I probably know him or know somebody that does know him.
Yeah, you probably do, because he used to always hang up there. Yeah, a small world.
Oh gosh. Well, all right. So the point I was getting at is people that live in Manhattan think they're somehow much better. I've even had somebody refer to bridge and tunnel people, and I'm one of them because I would take the train into Manhattan to go to work. I realized that if there's a bright flash in the sky and there's no more electric, the people that live in the Midwest aren't even going to blink. They're the people that know how to make crap run. They're the smartest people in the world as far as I'm concerned. It's not the people on Wall Street, Manhattan, or whatever. They're not the smartest people in the world. They know if something happens, they do that, and that's all they know. Like Mike Bloomberg would say, you put a seed in the ground. What's it do? It grows. So you can teach anybody that. No, jerk. You can't teach anybody that.
Oh.
It's a lot more. Same thing, like, they turn a dial on a lathe, and the arrow points this way. I'm like, I've worked in machine shops. The smartest people I know are machinists.
You're talking about people in the Midwest, and if there was all the power went out nationwide, there was an actual Pentagon study that showed like the death rates, the different parts of the country. The West Coast was the highest death rate, as 90% of the population would be wiped out.
Wow.
They don't have any food or water. Mostly water is their issue. All the crops that they do have out there would die off instantaneously. It would be over 50% on the East Coast and 10% in the Midwest.
Just the lazy people.
Yeah.
And if it was Bloomberg, it would be not the whites. It would be because they're not lazy. I didn't hear that comment. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. It just came out today. It broke a couple hours ago.
Okay, yeah, I must have missed it. But all right, so now here's the other thing. I'm shocked at some of these people. I actually worked. I had a 2-year contract stay in New York and Albany, and I did IT. We were like the A team for the governor, and whenever the governor needed something immediately, we did it. Or whenever there were different silos, like state police had their own IT, DMV had when they couldn't do it, when their own IT, we did it. Well, I was shocked at the things you think. You grow up in a political family, you know how to talk. Andrew Cuomo didn't learn a damn thing from his father. I mean, his father, they always said Mario Cuomo was like the frog that sung. You didn't want to like him, but when he started talking, and I actually personally had that experience. I was at an event photographing him, and what a gentleman, what a nice guy, what a really good orator. But Andrew Cuomo didn't get any of that. And I'm shocked at these people. I'm like, really? You don't know how to talk? Bloomberg. You don't have a PR guy that pulls you aside and say, hey, Mike, you can't say that. Mike, when that girl that works for, I shouldn't say that lady that works for you got pregnant, you shouldn't have said kill it. And you shouldn't just said, oh, that's 16 then, meaning 16 that are going to be on maternity leave. I'm like, you're a monster.
He is. He definitely is.
There's a big detachment from reality. And And I don't know how long he's been so tremendously wealthy that everybody tells him yes and whatever you do is great. But he's very detached from the reality of day-to-day life with regular people.
Oh, he definitely is. It's almost it's almost a joke at this point.
Well,
How not a talent. I mean, of how well he's tries to buy your whole entire states. I mean, come on.
he is drunk on his money / power. He really believes, and maybe to a large degree, he has been successful or nearly successful. Because realistically, he has made the most change in gun control in a very long time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I don't think that he thought um he was going to get as much pushback as he did.
It almost happened. It was very close.
Yeah,
Look,
but
him and Soros. They're inserting, district attorneys, judges all across the country. I mean, we really have a plague that we're fighting off.
judicial activism is a major issue.
Yeah, this and the thing that bothers me about it is the pendulum only swings in one way. I've never seen it come back. I was hoping that we get CCW reciprocity or the Hearing Protection Act, something like that. Because realistically, a silencer or sound moderator, I mean, it shouldn't be any more than a 4473 to get one of those. Because realistically, it's not a weapon.
If you go to UK, which bans almost everything, you can buy it over the counter without a background check or anything.
Right. Richard Monder was here, and I was talking to him about that. And basically, in Europe, it's considered rude if you hunt or shoot without one.
Yeah.
I just think that it's the nuttiest thing. So again, going to the statistics of it, how Bloomberg says black. Do I write Bloomberg a note and say thank you for reelecting Trump? Dear Nancy Pelosi, Michael Bloomberg, thank you so much for reelecting Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's why people offend lazy. They just lazy. They don't know how to behave.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this one. He says, Chris, I don't know if I'm going to butcher his name, Shoemake, says Bloomberg is as dumb as a screen door on a submarine.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, my gosh.
Bloomberg is just, I mean, he's just very, very not smart.
And here's a guy, engineering degree. He flies his own helicopter, flies his own jet plane. He is an instrument-rated pilot with a rotary add-on. And, obviously a technical smart, his social skills suck. Let's put it that way. He's one of those people that's, brilliant, but just with zero social skills.
Yeah.
But getting back to, all right, so silencers or sound moderators, how many crimes have been committed with them? Because I don't know of any.
One?
Okay. Yeah, they should be banned. That's it. No more.
The Virginia Beach shooting, he had a 45.
Do we really know the facts on that?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They said it should be banned because he used a silencer, right? My birthday was yesterday, Todd. But the thing is, here I'm shooting. So doesn't that kind of defeat the thing, the point that that the silencers makes it like whisper quiet so no one can hear it?
Right. Yeah, we know that. Gun guys know that. And the other thing is full auto. I know of, I think there's 2 or 3 crimes that have ever been committed, let's say in the last 50, 75 years with full auto.
There's been 3 and two of them were cops with their duty weapons. So check out this. Bloomberg, let them die. Here at 95, we should say you've lived a long life. We can't do anything.
This is as good as Beto saying, "Yes, we're coming for your ARs and AKs. We're going to be taking them away."
And they have video of all this, so it's not like you can really deny it. But he's like been going around trying to copyright claim all these videos.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, which doesn't make it any better because all that's going to do is make more news.
Right. Well, and he did this kind of weird, was it Instagram or Twitter campaign? Kind of hokey and, I don't, John, if you worked with people on their political campaigns before, I'm guessing yes, right? And I'm guessing some of your advice would be to say, don't do something always act natural. Wear the clothes you would normally wear. Do the things you would talk about the things you would normally talk about. Like the one thing, Ted Cruz with the machine gun bacon. It's like he never held an AR-15 in his hand when he did that.
Yeah.
Just
what you try to do is you tell them, okay, this is a little bit behind the scenes, behind the curtain. You don't tell them to wear what they normally wear. You hire an image consultant to poll people to see what people think they would look best at, and then you hire a style consultant to help them wear it naturally, like it's what they always wear.
Right.
It's all games.
As they say, it's showbiz for ugly people.
It is. It's definitely showbiz for ugly people. They're all method actors, basically. They all act a certain way because they have to do it because this polls a certain way, blah, blah, blah. I work with a guy on some stuff who is a campaign manager. And like a lot of the campaigns that they were doing with their candidates were like them in the gym and them and everything. It was like, well, people like healthy people. It's like, but you're concentrating more on showing that this person works out every day than on issues. Like, well, that's what gets them elected. Like, wow.
He goes to the gym. He's just like me.
Yeah, it's to make it look like,
Ooh, big gay ice cream. I like it too. That's my favorite Bloomberg. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he looked so natural doing that commercial.
Remember the picture of Obama duck hunting?
Oh, Jesus. And he had this shotgun. I've never seen. Was that like a 2-gauge shotgun? What was that? It looked like a sewer pipe with a buttstock.
It was hilarious, but he's like trying to say, "Oh, look at me! I'm a hunter.
I'm a gun guy just like you. I just want common sense gun reform."
Yeah,
and
it's freaking hilarious.
So, John, if I told you I went duck hunting, would you believe me?
You maybe.
Yeah, see, maybe it's plausible.
Obama, not so much.
That's probably the best and the worst. There's a couple of political things, so like how political plays. John Kerry walking into, where was it, Wyoming, saying, "Where do I get my hunting license?" Yes, it's like, oh yeah, John, you're on the road. You definitely want to go hunting in North Dakota here. You don't want to miss a day. It's like opening season of.
Yeah, let me show you.
What size gun is that?
I don't know, but he's hunting, right?
And yes, of course he's hunting. It's something flying through the air, I guess. Low.
Is he firing up in the air?
It's a little above level.
He picked up that awful fast.
Yeah. I would almost swear that's Photoshop because the proportionate size of the gun looks too big.
I have no idea what type of gun he's shooting.
It just looks too big.
No, that's him shooting skeet, which
yeah.
Okay. It looks like a little kid with the Red Ryder BB gun.
Yes. I mean, he's shooting some clay low to the ground or something like that. Was that the rabbit on the bounce that he got?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit too high for that, I think, and a little bit too low for.
Right. It's like just pop one off. You mean this way? Yes, that way. Oh, okay. I got it.
That's the only shot he took all day.
Oh, I absolutely guarantee it. Because I mean, is he 2 feet tall? Is that like a kid's gun? What? That's the most remarkable. I mean, I got an over/under shotgun, but it doesn't. I mean, it's just a 12 gauge. It's not a sewer pipe with a buttstock.
Barrel?
No porting on the barrel. None of that. Just I couldn't afford that.
Yeah, the 47-inch barrel that he has there. It's like an old school musket. It's so tough.
And so the other one, Al Gore, was my favorite. He wanted to show that he was like a backwoodsman in the canoe in the river, but the river was dry because there was a drought. So he had the Secret Service agents open up the dam and let the water flow. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I do.
So Mr. Environmentalist is stealing the water from the townspeople so he could get a photo op.
They did a study on one of Al Gore's homes.
Oh,
that
Jesus.
He has the light on all the time. And the amount of power that he consumes while he's not there in a 24-hour period is more than what the town next to him.
But do you know what his PR representative said when that claim was made?
What?
They're compact fluorescent bulbs, which would make it worse because how much light does he have to have on?
Yeah, he wasn't even home though.
Right.
It's like there's nothing that you can say to make that any better. You know?
Look, I'm trying to think how I can say this without. I know people that have heated swimming pools and won't get in the pool until it's 90 degrees, and this was in New York, and it wasn't summer. You know, they'll burn 500 gallons of fuel oil to heat their pool to go in for 15 minutes. But you know, there's people like that. But so, as I'm saying, would I ever do that? Heck no. Do I believe in carrying guns? Yes. Do I carry a gun? Yes. Do I own guns? Yes. If you believe in preserving the environment, do like Greta Thunberg and get in your frickin' Hobie cat and go to Davos instead of in a G6.
Yeah, she is. They got busted. Yeah, you know what happened, right? There was like a little error, and it showed what account was posting on what thing, and it turned out that it was her parents posting on Facebook.
Ah, yes.
You know, you're gonna get a call. I mean, technology screws up somewhere.
Well, and of course, my other favorite was a week ago, Elizabeth Warren. So here's what Romney did wrong. Is Romney was embarrassed about being rich, and he kind of hid it, and you know, he didn't want to talk about it because I guess he was advised that it's unrelatable. Trump's like, yeah, I'm rich. I'm very, very rich. And then CNN and MSNBC said he's not as rich as he says he is. He totally self-inoculated. That was not an issue. Romney had an elevator in his garage for his cars. Nobody did that with Trump. Frick, Trump had a garage elevator for his garages.
He would do it all. He would be on TV. He'd be like, "Yes, I do."
He'd be like, "Damn right I do it. If you had my money, you'd have two." So
it's fantastic. Everyone loves it.
Right. It's the best ever. It's beautiful. So,
I don't think they didn't know how to handle them.
So I always thought that was amazing. Trump self-inoculated. He owned it. He self-inoculated. And next, what's next? Whereas Elizabeth Warren, Miss Greenie, gets off, I don't know if it's a Learjet or what jet it was, but she gets off the jet, sees the camera, then tries to hide behind her aide. It's kind of like when I accidentally walked into the gay bar and I walked out and I'm doing this the whole way, make sure nobody saw me. If I just walked across the street, nobody would have known. If Elizabeth Warren just waved, say hi, it wouldn't have been a story.
I mean, they're all ridiculous. They all try to be something that they're not. What was really funny?
Bernie's against the millionaires and billionaires. Oh, I'm a millionaire. I'm against the billionaires.
Yeah, that's a pretty good impression. Well, look at the Beto work Ted Cruz election. The Irish guy is named Beto, and the Hispanic guy is Ted. Which names? It'd be a lot less confusing.
I think it was 1983. I graduated high school and I took 3 or 4 years of Spanish. And I can listen with my untrained, unrehearsed, or unpracticed ear. I can tell that Beto speaks Spanish about as good as I would with 15 minutes of practice.
Yeah. Did you see Mayor Pete when he forgot he was given an address in Spanish and he forgot how to speak Spanish like halfway through?
No, I missed that.
He's like,
And again, do what you're natural at. Yeah, people smell a phony. Tell me what's phony about Donald Trump.
His hair.
Yeah, we all know that. With that, funny. The way he communicates is the way he's always communicated. The way he does things, it's the way he's always done them. He's no different than he was when he was on The Apprentice or 30 or 40 years ago. He's the same.
He has to be the most accessible president ever. He's the only president that you can get in an argument on Twitter with. In the middle of the night, you can get an argument with him on Twitter. I mean, isn't that what we want? Somebody who's that.
Chris Brogan is telling me turn off the ceiling fan. Chris, I have not turned off that ceiling fan in about a year and a half.
That's funny. Yeah, well, it's getting kind of late, and I got to write like 2 articles now.
Alrighty, buddy.
Since I got on here, I had no articles to write, and now I have to write 2.
So we're gonna see. Are you gonna go to NRAAM?
No, I am not going to NRAA show. I've been kind of. It's a long story, but
well, it's a week or 2 later for the GOA event, right?
Yeah, it's a week. It's like a week later, but
that's why I need a damn airplane.
I have. There was some fallout. It's a long story. I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
There's some fallout. With certain people at NRA.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, do you have any plugs before we go?
Yeah. So if you go to youtube.com/flyingrich, that's where all my stuff is, and flyingrich.com is like my social media hub. And I'm Flying Rich Official on Instagram, and my bird, who's in the cage over there, is Pebbles_bird on Instagram.
And don't fly with him. He's known for wrecking planes.
But I got good. The last crash, I mean, I just scratched my finger right here.
Okay, that's not something that has a lot of confidence. Man,
The plane wasn't reusable.
I may crash planes a lot, but I'm good at it.
Yeah, the other interesting thing is since I've been flying, I haven't had any car accidents.
Well, that is a good thing. All right, guys. Tomorrow I'll be back. I have the guys from Arms List coming on to talk about their legal case
Oh, cool.
that they're being sued by Brady, the Brady organization. But yeah, and I will see. Yeah. Oh no, here you go.
Pebble's been in his cage the whole time.
Yeah. Probably like, oh God, curses. Or Richard flying again. He's the only bird that doesn't like flying because he's worried about flying with you.
Yeah, I don't take him in the plane. I'm worried about hearing loss because it's noisy in the cockpit.
Oh yeah, I bet it is. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow.